Deep in the Australian rainforest, there is an art studio. Surrounded by vines and overlooking mountains and waterfalls, it has become a magical space of creativity. The journey of building this off-grid oasis has been filled with highs and lows, but as two young women, with some help from our mum and uncle, we've done it. It is built from the remains of an abandoned banana shed that our dad built years ago. It was half finished and rotting in the weather when he passed. But now we have finally finished the project, restoring the structure and finishing his vision, and we couldn't be more proud.
I think that these windows are probably my favourite thing about the whole art studio, and they were also the hardest job in this recent renovation. I think we spent the most time and energy on them for sure, but they are so beautiful.
We started by moving these heavy frames into place. Then I painted them with a few coats of the perfect green, and then it was time for the glass. We collected recycled glass from windows at the tip, and then Mum cut them to size. Each piece was a slightly different size and had to fit perfectly, so this job was intense. We used so much window putty and spent a whole week on it.
Some of my favourite afternoons were here fixing these windows. Me and Mum were such a team. She did all the glass cutting and she taught me all of these cool techniques that I'd never even heard about before. And then I was putting them in place and we were using all recycled materials. We turned into scavengers. We'd go to the local tip and find all this glass and get it for free.
This build really pushed us to use as many recycled materials as we could, and most elements of the studio are secondhand or reused. Seeing beauty in old, broken or discarded things is something that the world needs more of. There is so much value in things that so many people would see as completely invaluable. This shed is built from invasive pine, the floors are seconds from the mill, the cupboards are built from leftover floorboards, the doors are old garage doors that our parents found on the side of the road. The entrance doors are second-hand but repainted to make them new again. The windows are from the 1930s and the glass is from the rubbish tip. The other windows are from the side of the road, and the kitchen is built from old paintings and floorboards and a second-hand bench. All of the furniture is collected from garage sales and op shops or things that we found at the rubbish tip and repurposed. The thing is that this doesn't just save you money by always finding the cheapest or often free thing discarded at the tip, but it also brings so much character and individuality to this place. And each corner of the art studio has a story. And then, most importantly, these pieces don't impact the climate. Instead of manufacturing something new, we've been able to make use of the many things that would have otherwise filled landfills. Up the ladder is the loft bedroom, and this space is so cozy and it feels like you're high up in a treehouse.
This is the little sleeper loft, and it's the most cozy place to wake up. You can watch the sun rise over the mountain, and it's so special up here. This room was originally, it was just a kind of shell of a room, and it had no walls on the side, and it was just a shed, and the rain would get in. And then a few years ago we built it in so that it was a room, but it was still pretty dodgy, and the snakes got in, and it went all the way back here, and there were cracks in the roof, and there were snakes pooing everywhere, and it was kind of scary to sleep here because you could hear the snakes playing in the night. So we built this wall and put it here, and that separated it into two rooms. So there's a little room on the other side which is turned into a storage room, and then this side is the most luxe bedroom, which is snake-free.
The upstairs windows proved to be quite a lot more difficult, so with our mum and uncle's help we lifted them up into place. They looked so good and immediately transformed the room.
We also did these windows at the same time as we did the downstairs windows, and it was pretty scary. We had to be really up high on scaffolding, and we were carrying glass and puttying, and it took a really long time, but I am so happy with how they worked out. They're beautiful.
This room was maybe my favourite project of all. I think that this is when I really learned that I could build all on my own if I just attempted each step slowly. It definitely had some low points, like when the studio flooded in a massive storm and the boards got all wet and warped. We dried them out and it made the job a bit harder, but soon the satisfaction of seeing a wall built from my very own hands outweighed any stress from the warped boards. I then filled in around the window, assuming this would be an easy job, but I was so wrong. It was impossible to fit the boards in the tiny spaces between the window, and there was a lot of sweat and tears put into this job, as well as a spider bite that I thought was deadly, so I would maybe rate this job my least favourite. But it has to be one of the best transformations. Down the stairs, through the kitchen and around the corner is access to the other half of this bedroom, which has now turned into a storage loft. It has a little secret shutter door that leads to this cute room.
So this is the little storage room, and it is extended from the loft bedroom, which is over that way, and then it comes through here and then the wall in between. So they access from different sides of the building, so it's a little bit confusing, but it's so good. We've just got this little room which we can put all the extra fabrics or paintings or canvases.
It was such a fun and creative job. The moment of cutting the door through the wall was maybe the most satisfying bit. And soon this room went from a snaky, spidery void to a cute little loft to store all of our creative things.
These big beams are made from radiata pines that our dad felled in this very spot. So he cut down the trees and then used a mill, and he created these huge beams that are so beautiful, and radiata pines are invasive in this area.
We were always working by our dad's side. He was a self-taught builder, and he cut down a few invasive pines and created the structure of this shed. It had a roof but no proper walls, and turned into a bit of a junk shed full of his second-hand tools and scavenged building supplies. It was beginning to rot in the weather, so with our uncle's help we started the process of renovating it into an art studio to save the beautiful structure and make a place for creativity. The first job was cleaning out the junk and saving the beautiful old collected materials which we would go on to utilise in the build. Then we put in bearers and joists before laying out the floorboards that were all seconds from the mill. We got 3 windows from the side of the road and put them into place. We built walls using a material that recycles straw from the wheat industry. Of course, the goats loved this. We put in some second-hand doors, but later this proved to be a problem, so more recently we replaced them with windows, which suits this place so well, with so much inspiration coming from the rainforest view.
My sister Julia is a painter, and this is her workspace. She always slowly spreads from here. She starts painting here, and by the end of it she's got a painting all over the wall, a huge canvas, and she's just throwing paint around. And she's got all of her collected art books that are secondhand here, which are so beautiful to just always check in for inspiration.
Julia is an artist, and she creates these lush, captivating paintings that are a tribute to nature, highlighting the fragile beauty between the natural world alongside her own existence. Born from a deep communion with her surroundings, Julia's visions of nature dance between landscapes and portraiture, standing as a testament to the interconnectedness of humans and their environment. Sometimes she'll spend weeks perfecting a painting, and sometimes she will paint a massive landscape in just one day. Sometimes she will plan a painting for years, and other times it will come to her in a moment and she'll quickly draw the strokes onto the canvas.
Julia's work centers around the environment and nature, so I think this is the most perfect workspace for her, with these massive windows looking out to the most beautiful view, and sometimes there'll be black cockatoos flying past, or the goats always come by. I'm a sewer, so this is my own personal utopia. It's the most amazing, inspiring place. I have these cupboards which Julia painted a beautiful mural onto, and then they are full of second-hand materials, mostly collected from op shops or just friends. I have a bad habit now that every single person I know says, "Oh, I found some second-hand fabric for you," and so I have so many fabrics. It is ridiculous.
We got these cupboards for free from a house that was pulling them out, and then Julia painted this mural depicting the mountains in mist on a summer afternoon. Each corner of the space is filled with art, so it just made sense for her to start painting on the walls.
My passion is using recycled materials to create new garments. So I use old doilies and second-hand fabrics, and then I patchwork them together to make a beautiful new dress. And I think that this practice was definitely formed from the inspiration of seeing my parents build from recycled materials, and they were always collecting scraps and then forming them together to create these grand structures. And so I think I turned to fashion with that, but funnily, I think I'm 360'd now, and I came back to building and found that same inspiration in building, of being able to collect all these different things and then put them all together to form this amazing building. Using old machines is another thing that I'm really passionate about. And this is an old chain stitcher from, I think the early 1900s, so it's older than 100 years old, and it works so beautifully. I restored it, so I had the machine and I put it into this table, and I had this old Singer foot, so I made it mechanical instead of on the foot pedal, because it takes a long time. So instead it has a motor here. In the restoration of old machines, I kind of discovered all of these new things, because when I started to use these machines that were older than 100 years old, they sewed so beautifully and lasted so much longer than any new machine I could buy. If you buy a new machine, it lasts maybe 5 years if you're lucky. So it kind of made me realize the importance of old things and how they were better made back in the day, and also how we can take this knowledge and use old tools or build in a way that's timeless. These doors are also one of my favorite features. They are so cool. Our parents found them and collected them from an old building in town years and years ago. And then they stored them in the shed for years. And they were actually stored in this very spot when it was a shed. And then when we were building it, we thought, well, why not make use of them and have them as real doors? We restored them, keeping the beautiful old vintage colour, but we put a coat of varnish over them to restore it into place. So these used to be doors here, and then those doors we actually moved to the front over there. So it's been a bit of a muck around process, but when we had doors here, it wasn't the best because the goats would sneak in all of the time. So we'd always have a little company in the studio, and they get really naughty in here. They eat all of the houseplants, they bounce around on anything. They're so cute, but so naughty.
The goats have been sneaking in here since the beginning. They would come in here when it was a shed, so they very much feel at home. When they were babies, their mamas would drop them off to be babysat, so they would cause some chaos while their mums were out eating and nourishing themselves.
Oh, was that all to get that flower? I thought you were being a cutie! Stop eating the flower!
We moved the doors to the entrance instead, painting them green as well. Now the goats can't sneak in.
This is maybe my favourite corner. I don't know. I think it's because this was the first wall that I built, and it's honestly like very much at the start of my building process, and I was pretty bad, and that was only a few months ago. And then from there I went on and built crazy things, so I always feel proud when I sit here and look at the wall. I love these lampshades. We got them off Marketplace for really cheap, and because we're completely off-grid here, we just have these little hanging lights in there, and so we charge them up on our solar battery, and then they're just completely unattached from any cords, and then you just pop that in there, and it's so nice because you've got no cords hanging around, and it looks so cute. Our dad built the structure of this shed probably 15 years ago, and at first it was a farm shed or also a banana shed, so we've got these bananas here as a bit of a tribute, and we grew these just outside, so we're very proud. Because this is a studio and not a living space, it's kind of more of a basic kitchen, so we've just got 2 stove top burners and no fridge, and got somewhere to wash up, so it's great to be able to throw together a quick lunch and things like that, but it's not the best for making huge luxurious meals. These doors I made from old floorboards, so they're completely recycled. It was a neighbour's place whose floor flooded, so all of the materials are reused and repurposed from things that probably would have been thrown out.
This kitchen's transformation was simple, but felt so huge. Just a few small changes made this place feel like a whole new room. It took a long time to clean the floorboards, but once I was finally finished, the cupboard doors came together quickly.
This is a barn door that we made from old floorboards, and me and my uncle made this probably a few years ago now, and it goes outside. It didn't have anywhere to go for a long time, and then we finally made it so that it goes to a bathroom. So that's really handy, and you can leave it open like this, but then also you can open the door, or you can close it completely.
The door leads to a jungle bathroom, which I thought would be the easiest job, but it turned out pretty hard.
I'm so happy with how this outdoor bathroom turned out. Hello, Clover. It's so cute. This is an old plant stand that our dad made years and years ago, and so then I put some hardwood on top, and then we got this sink off Marketplace for really cheap, and put that into it, and then did the plumbing, which the plumbing was the hardest part, honestly. Plumbing is terrifying. I don't know if I'm up for it. But apart from that, it was a really fun job. This is a compost toilet, and it's wonderful. It goes down into a chamber, and then we put sawdust with it, and then after a while it all composts into itself, and then we put it on the fruit trees. And are you scared of toilet roll? It's okay, it's just a toilet roll. It's so sustainable and such a cool way to use all of your waste.
Thank you so much to our patrons for your support on our journey.